Oh wait, man. Oh fucking way.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last show of the year. Last show of the year. We gotta do it big. We'll wait for people to get up in here. Tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your auntie, tell your cousin, tell your daddy. If you still talk to them, we in the building. All right. Same paid for time, same paid for place. That's gonna be my new like my new announcer kind of, how announcers have, like Mike Breen has the bang, you know what I'm saying? They got their own little catchphrase or whatever. I think that's gonna be mine. I gotta be a little bit
Anybody, listen, anybody can get a bang. It's all about the double bang.
like
If you know about the double bang, I think there's been like 5 or 6 ever in history, but the double bang is when you really know you're made a play.
Hey, look, when
That's
Steph pulled
I
up
think he
from
let two of
60,
them fly in the playoffs last year. That was a little unprecedented. Like
right.
it was back to back.
I was like, double, not the double bang, Mike. He was feeling it that day for sure.
yeah, man, shout out to Mike Breen. I think he's already in the Hall of Fame, Sportscasters Hall of Fame. I mean, he's never gonna be Kevin Harlan. I mean, but you know what I'm
Oh
saying? He's
man,
still
but
good.
see that I think what people forget with Breen is that he came up on MSG. It's a great like nice little historical moment to start the show about, right? Talking
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
But he's the MSG guy, and
Mm-hmm.
like he took over for Marv Albert.
Mm-hmm.
So like you know what I'm saying he replaced the legend, and then he to gain your own voice after replacing a legend is tough. So shout out to him. That's really what's impressive.
Oh yeah. Like I didn't know he did Knicks games until I got League Pass one year. I was like, oh shit, it's Mike Breen. There we go.
Who's
Cool.
the dude that took over for uh Al Michaels in college basketball? Not Al Michaels, Jim Nance. He does
Wait,
NFL
who?
games too. What's his name?
Is it Iron Eagle?
Yeah, I didn't know he did Nets games every night
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
see
until I listened to one.
and his son. He got his son a gig too. His son's pretty good.
Yeah, his son does the
Oh,
Peacock like basketball games for Big Ten
Yeah,
and
and
I think Notre Dame, right?
he's gonna be doing NBA on NBC. Because you know the
oh
NBA on NBC is
shit.
back this year.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna be one of the people for them.
Him and Harland, man. I'm telling you, Kevin Harland is GOAT. GOAT. Easily. All right, let me get this out to all my compadres, then we'll, you know what I'm saying, continue on with the show. We appreciate y'all for joining. Bro, Sam, August 31st seems like it was like yesterday, like last week on some shit. And now we're what, January 18th? It's kind
Yeah.
of crazy to believe.
I
Yeah.
wish we were still in August. I hate winter. It's got me down bad. I was telling Roddy before the show it's gonna be like negatives beginning of next week up here in Indy. I can't do it. But yeah, only what like 8 more football games left total,
Yep.
and that's sad. But we cherish every football season. Live every football season like it could be your last. There's only a finite amount that you have in your life, so just enjoy them all.
Hey, Jake, I heard you're picking the Chiefs to win it all again, man. What they're telling me, I don't know.
I hope they make it back to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'd then lose, but I don't want any other team winning a Super Bowl before Joe.
Oh my God.
I respect
Fair
that.
enough.
J-
Fair enough.
Jake, did you see how someone else brought up the Chiefs as Bengals fans, but like the Chiefs are going to bring up the Bengals on. They got Bengals on the brain at all time.
Yeah, man. I mean, y'all. I don't know. Y'all's rivalry is.
It's
I
different.
don't. Yeah, it's different. Yeah, I'm with Adam, man. Well, I
Because
don't.
we're the
It's
only
not so
we're
much.
the only team that like has actually done anything against them.
Yeah, that's true. You and Tom. That's it. That's it. And
Yeah,
shit. What?
I'm
Both the
not having this
times they went to overtime. When they lost. Okay.
I'm not talking about. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about overtime and playoff football games,
No,
playoff
my fault.
NFL games. I'm good off all that,
No, my
respectfully.
fault. I
Yeah,
apologize.
No,
But
should
for
probably
real,
know. Should probably know
don't
the rules.
don't apologize. It's not a real apology. I know it's not a real apology. I heard it. I can hear the insincerity of it. Like
ain't my fault. Maybe.
it's all good. You know,
All right.
I've been doing a show with my ops for the last fucking month, so it's okay. I'm totally here for it, bro.
Well, let's see if we, you know what I'm saying, agree with you this week. Let's see. It's your boys back again at Pay for Play on Twitter. Please follow us. Go ahead and subscribe to the Daily Bread Network on YouTube. All right. Make sure you're subscribed and following us in order to win the contest that we have. We're still giving away $250 to our bracket challenge winner. If you tie, we're going to do some math. We're going to split it up. Everybody goes home a winner. So salute to y'all. Like we said, we've been rocking since August 31st, first week of the season. We did a week 0 game, a week 0 pod too. So really, we've been rocking since like middle of August. So we appreciate the love that y'all give us. We appreciate the support. I know a lot of people have been watching. We've been uber successful on this podcast as well. We've made y'all a lot of money. So if you could show us some love, give us a follow, give us a subscribe. We really appreciate it. We'll go with our intros. Jake, first of all, he's on the clock. So he's showing the dedication to our show, to our content. Jake, how you doing, brother?
Great. Another good day. Talk about college football. I wish there were different teams playing in this game, but gotta handle what you're given in life, right?
There we go.
But I'm excited for the game on Monday. Hopefully, a certain team can keep it a game into the third quarter. We'll see, though.
Okay, fair enough. Sam, how you doing?
We're doing all right. I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't love either of these teams, but like I said, it's a great. It's nothing against Sosa. It's more like he's one of the better Notre Dame fans that I know, and like the people just here in Indy have. I'm telling them, like, at what point do you start thanking us that we hired Brian Kelly and stop just like worrying about him like baby back bitches? Like, he was never winning a national championship there. He can win a national championship at LSU, but he was never winning one at Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman stepped in. I mean, that was a win-win for both sides, and I don't know why everyone at Notre Dame doesn't see that. Like, they're more focused on what Brian Kelly's doing, and they're still talking about a fake Southern accent, like, still to this day. And it like they're the most ex-girlfriend, like crazy ex-girlfriend syndrome I've ever seen. But Sosa has not been. I'll give him that.
There we go.
You know what, man? I appreciate you, Sam. I really appreciate that, man. It means a
I'll
lot.
keep it a buck.
It means a lot because you know what? I was ready to I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This right now is a big deal for me for the sheer reason that, like, when Brian Kelly did leave, I did not know the true direction of where we were headed. Brian Kelly's an offensive guy. That's always something we've been able to rely on with him, right? Like, he got an interchangeable system. And I think that's kind of like how college works, right? Like, the number one thing that you can lean on with a lot of these coaches is the system. And you know that if they get the right athletes in, they're going to be able to continue to have the same level of success, right? Like, they might like change offensive coordinators, but the philosophy never really changes. Like, the main thing is always the main thing with those guys. So getting Marcus in at head coach, I was super excited. I'd heard great things, and obviously when working with us, he'd done a great job of getting on the recruiting trail, and that's what we give him a lot of credit for. But I don't think Brian Kelly's in any bad situation or anything. I think he inherited a situation in LSU that was a lot more broken than people want to be honest about.
38 scholarship players.
And then at the same time, you're entering into that NIL realm of college football or college sports, and you have to adjust to a transition while given a shitty situation. That's why you've never seen Kelly's job ever questioned. It was like, is he going to get fired? No, because the school understood what he inherited. So, I say all that to say is, I'm glad that I'm in the position I'm in as far as a fan, but I don't have to say anything to y'all. Y'all are used to situations like this. I mean, y'all are used to your team being wildly successful every year and having an opportunity to win a championship. So, for me, I won't say it's a weird feeling, but it's not something I'm accustomed to. I can't lie about that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even with me, like, I'm new to this shit. All right. Like, I've been through much, 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 much pain with the Georgia Bulldogs over my fandom. So like when you get there and you have the standard and you have the expectation now, the hardest part is keeping up with the expectation. I mean, of course, Sam, you can attest to this, and Jake as well, having won last year. Like after you have one of the best teams in your school's history, like now you're going into every August, like, okay, like how are we going to duplicate this? How are we even going to make it better? So, you know, it hurts when you don't come up to that standard like all three of us did this year. So, you know, coming from failing to doing well, it's good.
Winning championships are hard. Like it makes life hard as a fan. Like you have this expectation and these high expectations that you just have to meet, and sometimes you just don't meet it. But like, yeah, people don't talk about the fans who win championships and how hard it is on them.
Yeah.
That's harder than winning them on the field.
Don't worry, I'll be a card carrying member of that crew on Monday night around 11 p.m. So don't worry, I'm gonna be able to experience that on Monday. I know it. I believe it. You know, I know that already.
Like I had a Penn State fan the other day tell me, he was like, "What do you think? Like, how would you feel if you guys went 8-4 next year? Like, that'd be a good season." I'm like, "We just went 8-5." Like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't think people get like when you win a title, like even though our whole staff is different, like there's a standard set that you got to meet every year. And 8-4, I'd be like, get out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like, well, we got some issues here. We're paying the quarterback what, $10 million? No. Yeah.
No, man.
And now you factor in that stuff too. It makes even more pressure.
But the thing is now, again, I think that the college is, like the mirror to the NFL is becoming closer and closer in the sense that if you don't got a good quarterback, you don't got a chance because you can stack the talent, or at least competent, I guess. Because I guess that this year, per se, it's more of like an anomaly, right? Because you have talent everywhere except really the quarterback position as far as like elite level in the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
You got elite receivers, elite running backs, elite linemen, elite defensive backs, elite linebackers and defensive linemen, and all the quarterbacks just kind of fall like middle of the pack.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Especially in the championship, because they're nowhere close to being the best player on their teams.
No. Mm-mm. And sometimes that's college. I mean, and like you said, with this new landscape, we can talk about your boy, Sosa, Rick Barnes. That quote that he put out, he gonna sit his ass on the bench if he ain't doing what he getting paid to do. Like it's gonna be more of that, like starting up. And I mean, he's not wrong. It's just kind of wild to hear it at this level because
for the answer to be he wasn't doing what he gets paid to do was just amazing. I can't even lie. Like for a college coach to say it like that, it was just great. It's like, yeah, he wasn't doing what he was getting paid to do, so he didn't play. Two things have happened. He said that, and another thing has happened that I think is huge for the future of NIL. What VCU's basketball program did, where they made standardized salaries for their basketball players.
Yeah,
$384K a year is the initial estimate for for their first year entering next year. So like they're base salarying their players.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is the biggest thing, because I think it kind of like slipped under the rocks. Like I don't think a lot of people like were paying attention to it, but that right there, what VCU did, it's gonna help structure out how a lot of these schools work. The problem is they're not P5,
right?
So
P4,
or you know what I meant.
Same thing.
No, it is P5 in basketball.
It's P5 in basketball. Big East.
Oh man,
they're
still around.
Yeah. but that VCU situation was brilliant. What they did, because what it does is like it changes the idea of the Wild West for them. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so this is what you're getting. If somebody's offering you more, don't come here.
Right.
Don't come here. We won't even try to recruit you because you know what the parameters are. I think if you do that and you set that, it makes it a lot easier moving forward, especially for your competition too, for like the rest of the conference. So and that's, like I said, that took place while we weren't here. So I figured I'd bring it up.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. I think it's going to be interesting next year and on. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. we'll start with our semifinal review. We had two great games, in my opinion. Penn State, Notre Dame, we'll start there. I obviously picked Penn State to win. I thought they controlled the game for a majority of the game, but when it came to the end of the game, they just fell flat on their face like they always do. And now my question for all of y'all, I'll start with you, Sam. I don't put this one on James Franklin. Okay. I don't. I don't. I understand that he is the coach of the team. He is going to get the brunt of the blame. But if you're actually watching the game and your receivers have literally no yards at all, you gotta put some weight on the quarterback. Like I think Aller, he's obviously coming back next year for a good reason, and we kind of saw it. You're seeing a whole bunch of Penn State guys transferring as well. I can't put this on James Franklin. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Y'all disagree?
I would, for the majority of the game, no. I would not put that on him. I think Drew Aller is really bad. I think everyone in the Big Ten should be absolutely rejoicing that he is coming back. Because Penn State's just not going to do anything yet again. Like they can have Kaytron Allen come back. They can have Nick Singleton come back. But at the end of the day, it's not going to matter. Like Drew Aller, the only mistake I think James Franklin made was trying to throw the ball at Drew Aller after seeing him throw the ball for 59 minutes of that game beforehand.
Right.
And that was a mistake. That was unbelievable. And one of the worst throws with the game on the line that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I say that. Now, Sosa, you disagree, it looks like. Why do you disagree? Oh, okay, good. Yeah, good. Jake, who do you put? Oh,
No. Listen, bro. It's less than a minute left in the game. Okay? Your trenches have been the best thing that you've been given all game. Drew Aller, for all it was, we weren't sacking them back. We weren't getting back there going crazy. We didn't do what we did to y'all, where it was we got to the quarterback and made a bunch of crazy plays, right? You're inside of a minute. The game is tied. There's no reason for you to even put the ball in the air. Take a fucking knee, hand it off, go to overtime. Worst case scenario, you get a field goal attempt on every fucking possession in overtime. And your defense been playing well, your D-line's been playing well. Why the fuck would you put the ball in the air? I thought it was a fumble job by him more than anyone. I blame him more than anybody.
That's fair.
I blame him more than anyone. There's no reason that ball should have been put in the air. I don't give a fuck about the whole, if I had looked at my players and not tried to shut the fuck up, Franklin. Your fucking team's been doing nothing offensively the whole game. They're playing straight man, right? And also like Sam said, why the fuck do you deviate? It's the same thing Texas A&M did week 1 when we played them. If Texas A&M had just kept running the ball in the fourth quarter, they had a legit chance of winning that game against us if they had just kept running the ball. But what they do, they had Wegman throw the ball for what reason? We're still trying to figure that out. He threw the ball so bad. He just fucking transferred.
Penn State had a better chance getting chunk yards, like trying to run and using timeouts, than they did throwing the ball to receivers. Like if you go 59 minutes without a receiver making a catch, what are we doing? Like no catches, no yards. Why are you trying to do it now? Like it clearly has not worked.
It's your third read on the backside as well. It's your third fucking read on the backside of the fucking progression, brother.
I get what you both are saying. Like I get where you're both coming from, but I might go like on a little tangent here about Aller. That kid fucking sucks. Like he is. I'm sick of people saying like, "Oh my god, he's so good," but like they only are saying that based off his traits. Like just because he looks like Josh Allen body wise does not mean he's a good quarterback. His footwork sucks. His anticipation. I mean, his anticipation sucks. His accuracy sucks. I mean, dude, he had Kaytron Allen on a flat route. I mean, I could have hit that pass. That's how bad the dude is. Dude, you're throwing like a three. And that was to start the game, and I disagreed kicking a field goal. You don't kick field goals inside the 5-yard line in the college football playoff. You don't. It's going to come back to bite you in the ass, and it did. That's why you can't do that. And I mean, Allers, thank God he's coming back next year, and they're going to pump him up all off season. Just wait for it. I'm telling you, they're going to be like Heisman favorite at Penn State. Drew Allers coming back. Don't buy into the hype, people. Do not buy into the hype. He won't even be the best quarterback in the Big Ten. He might not even be top 3. You'll have to wait and see.
He won't be top 5. He won't be top 10 in America.
I agree, but I'm telling you what they're gonna say.
I'm taking Sam's quarterback over him.
Easily.
7 days out the week.
Easily.
I think Indiana's quarterback that they got out of the portal is already better than him. I think.
Oh, from Cal.
I'm sure. Yeah, I think whatever Ohio State's going to put out. I mean, Bryce, if he starts, is probably going to have a chance to be better. Like, it ain't looking good for Drew Aller and the draft stock. And like
that's my thing. Like, the receivers apparently suck. Where are they going to get? They're all leaving. Where? Who's going to play receiver?
Me.
Me and you.
I don't.
Well, me and you had as many catches.
Yeah, literally. So yeah.
If I show my tape of the national championship and theirs, just saying.
Hey man, similar. So yeah, that was a interesting semifinal to start off with, and then Saturday night or Friday night, should I say, we got Ohio State and Texas. Huge winners on that game, man. Shout out to Jack Sawyer, man. I mean, real American right there. All right. Real hard-nosed, lunch pail, coach's kid. First one and last one out type of guy right there. I fuck with him.
Bro, I didn't know he was that fast. That athleticism on the run back was.
I mean, shit.
He must already have the NFL steroid package.
Look, sometimes they get it at Ohio State. They spending money up there. So, I mean, it is what it is. But
he's on the Bosa plan.
Yeah. Never mind. We won't go there. Anyway.
No, I see the vision, Sam.
So obviously the talk of everybody who watched that game was the toss play at, I think it was 2nd and goal, that completely derailed the drive. And then Quinn fumbles the ball on 3rd and goal. So obviously we all disagree with that, but I also think Caleb Downs has to receive credit. I think he was the best player on the field. For a majority of that game, probably the whole game. I know Jack had the biggest play, but Caleb sealed the deal with that tackle at the goal line, and then he sealed the game with the pick. So how are we feeling about, that decision to run the toss play on 2nd and goal?
Asinine. I mean,
fucking.
Why are you running up?
Steve Sarkisian won't be right till he starts.
We were going to say the same thing.
Steve Sarkisian won't be right till he starts drinking again.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ!
Why are you running it up the middle like 4 times? Like
now, and we're talking about guys or coaches who lost their team the game. That guy lost their team the game easily. And look, I don't blame you. He might be Gilbert Grape's little brother, because what just I don't get it. I mean, and then we're talking about quarterbacks who aren't good. I tried to tell y'all Quinn's not good, man. I tried to tell y'all all year. I didn't know. I told y'all I haven't bet on Texas all year for a reason. There was a very distinct reason, and it's because of their quarterback. Like, all the running backs only scored, and then Jack Sawyer finished the game off. So.
But
I want to ask. Go ahead.
All right, I was just gonna say I applaud, like, Texas defense is what I questioned going into the game. Like, they hadn't played like a real passing attack. They looked good. Like, that side of the ball showed up and did their part. As far as Quinn, I think he's got to be one of the biggest what if quarterbacks, because he has the talent, it's in there. He flashes it every now and then, but it's just the mental side is just not there. He makes a boneheaded mistake or a crippling turnover in almost all of their losses. And but the flashes are there. I can see why an NFL team would want to draft them, but you got to fix the mentality of it. But yeah, I was impressed with Texas defense. They showed up, they balled out, they really looked good against Ohio State. Slowed them down a lot. So it was a great game, and the Jack Sawyer play was an incredible play. But Roddy, you're right. Like the Caleb Downs play before that was unbelievable football. Like that kid, I can see exactly why Saban was praising him so much last year and saying he may be the best defensive back he ever coached. And that's high praise coming from Saban. So I mean, that kid's going to be incredible. He's fun to watch.
He already is, bro. Like you're not lying. He looked like something. Go ahead, Jake.
No, I was just going to ask you guys. I mean, before that, God, I don't know why we're blitzing a safety with 20 seconds left in the first half, but did it not feel like leading up to that? And even like, because did Texas tie it again in the third? Right? They tied it again, right?
Yeah.
No,
didn't it feel? Because it was tied 14-14 in the third, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It was.
Like from like the middle of the second quarter to like maybe the start of the fourth, didn't it feel like Ryan Day was folding for like a lot of like it felt like the Michigan game all over. Like he was running it up the middle. I'm like, what are you doing?
Bro, that screen pass
saved them.
Absolutely saved them, because can you talk about momentum and just like how it was trending? Everything was. It was like they start off the game straight through the roof. Everything's good. Confidence is brimming. You get them off the field, and then, Texas goes into the lull. Don't do anything. They score points inside of a minute right before halftime. There's no reason for you to be doing anything except getting the fuck out of the half, because they're trying to get the ball to the running back some way, somehow. They're not going to take any deep shots. It's going to be a handoff or a screen. You give up a screen for a touchdown. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Man. Yeah, that's it. And I told y'all, Travion be running like he's like ran from dogs all his life, boy. That boy be running hard. I think an NFL team next year is going to enjoy having him in the running back room, because that kid is good. I really appreciate how hard he plays. So
if Estime can get an NFL job, he certainly can.
Oh yeah, easily.
And that's no disrespect to Estime, but if Audric Estime could play for an NFL team or be on an NFL active roster, Travion Henderson will be on a team next year for sure. Like he'll be on a team producing to some degree for sure.
Easily.
Yeah. Also, this game's 100% on Sark.
And the
I
DC.
put it 100% on him. Like, you're supposed to be an offensive guru. You can't be that poor inside the 10-yard line. You can't run a toss play inside the 5. He's 100% to blame, and I think that's what we're going to be saying every time they lose. It's the same way with Lanning at Oregon. Until they get the fuck out of their own way and win something that matters, we're going to be looking at them in the same scope. Man,
It's the
same with James Franklin too. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, makes me kind of question like Arch's ability a little bit, because like Quinn just didn't have it. Like if Arch is supposed to be what everyone is saying he's going to be, like at what point when the offense is that stagnant and that, like, I don't care if Quinn's your ride or die. Like he got you there. Like if you're doing this shit where you're subbing them in against like Georgia and giving them like special packages in other plays, at what point do you just like give it a shot? Like give them a drive.
I think it's politics too with the Arch Manning thing, and I don't think people really bring it up. I think that like that family in general is so hungry to control the narrative that I think they basically were like, listen, like if he's not the full starter, we're trying to have the least level of attachment to this season.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that sounds crazy, but it's like it makes perfect sense based on who the family is. It's like you're not going to blame our boy for any form of result this year. And I think that's like underlying where we're not really paying attention to that, or we don't really think of that. But like, I think the Mannies are like, listen, you're not going to put this kid in a situation to where your fan base is blaming him for the failures that take place this year. And I think that played part in him not seeing the field. And I think that like we think it's some situation where it's like, Sark is going to use and bro, he didn't play him at all in a game where it was competitive the week before.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And just think, like, the Mannings are like, if you don't listen to us, we got 120 other FBS schools calling.
So
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking, Sam. I'm like, maybe he's not that good. But then I'm like, nah, they already enter in the season. It wasn't like it was an open quarterback competition. It was Quinn was the starter, and this guy might get some time, right? Then Quinn goes down, and he gets two cupcake opponents to run up some numbers to where everybody's like, oh, man, this guy's this guy's that, right? As soon as they play some tough opponents, what do? You immediately put Quinn out there and let him get fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think that behind the scenes, I think that Archie and Cooper and Peyton, I think they were running the show the whole time. Like, listen, you can put him in there for set number of plays or certain plays, but the success and failures of this football team cannot be reflected on our name in any capacity.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
At all.
So, yeah, man, that was a interesting game. So those two games are what brought us here. We'll go ahead and get into it. Ohio State, Notre Dame, live from the Maybach here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be a good one, hopefully. We got Ohio State. They're an 8-point favorite right now. Now it might go up, but I don't know. Over under is 46 points. I'll start with you, Sam. How are you feeling about this game? What's the matchups? Because Jeremiah Smith had 3 catches. I think he had 3 targets, but no yards, or 3 receptions and no yards. So do you think he comes up big? Do you think he has a revival? What's your game plan for this game?
I think Notre Dame would probably scheme it up to where, kind of similar to Texas, like anyone else can beat us. Like if he's not going to beat us, like we saw what he did in the first 2 games, can't let him just kind of go man to man, one on one. He's incredible. So I wouldn't fault Marcus Freeman kind of shadowing that way and leaning the defensive side towards him. I think Sosa kind of hit the nail on the head when we were talking before the show. Has a vibe where feels like it probably on paper shouldn't be a game, but I think what Marcus Freeman has done in the playoffs is second to none. Or I mean, like, just absolutely coached his ass off, had an incredible game plan in each game, and yeah, I think it's going to be close. I would say I would take Notre Dame 7.5 and keep it within a possession. I was looking at some props before the game, or before the show started. I took Ohio State first drive punt plus 1.5. Jake kind of made a light click after last show, so started looking at those. Plus 105 feels like a good value for going up against Notre Dame defense like this. So I trust Marcus Freeman's script on the first drive and being able to outcoach and out-scheme Chip Kelly. So yeah, I took that one, and I think kind of what you said, Jeremiah Smith probably not going to be given a whole lot of opportunities. So Mecca Ibuka, I think it was plus 115 score a touchdown. So I took that as well.
Okay, fair enough. There we go. Jake, how you feeling?
I'm doing all right. God, I hate both these teams a lot. Very much. Dislike both. But you got to watch it because we all love football and we're all degenerates when it comes to gambling. So, I think the game's going to go over, actually. I might be on the opposite side of a lot of people on this.
Really?
But
okay.
What's the total at, like 45.5?
It's at 46 now. Just so
46.
For context, the whole world is on the under. So the under for the first quarter is at 10 minus 145. The under for the first half is at 23 minus 120. And the full game under is at 46. That's obviously minus 110. So
well, yeah, I'm
the
definitely
whole world
going
is
over
on
them because Vegas is going to want to get their lick back right before the season ends.
Oh, yeah.
I think this one's going to be close. What'd you say the spread was? 7.5?
8. Yeah, well, 8. I got 8.
I got 7.5 on draft.
Okay, well, whatever. I'm going to give you a score prediction. I think it's going to be 31-23 Ohio State. I think
Okay.
it's a decently close game actually. I think Notre Dame's gonna, if they have any chance to win, they're gonna have to possess the ball for like 38 minutes, or like
Right.
they're gonna have to dominate time and possession, because the best way to keep Ohio State off the field is run the ball, turn the clock, get some stops defensively. I think they're gonna run the same game plan Michigan and Texas did, just
Yep.
box up Jeremiah Smith, let everything over the middle, and live with it. Granted,
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens. I like the punt on the first drive by Ohio State, though. I do like that play at +105 that Sam gave out. I'll tail that.
Okay, for sure. Love it.
Mhm.
All right, Sosa. How are y'all gonna win? What is it gonna take to win? That's the only question I got for you.
So in order for Notre Dame to win, what I'm reading here is that when the clock hits 0 at the end of the fourth quarter, we're supposed to have one more point than the other team. That's how you win the game. And in order to score, apparently there are 2 10-yard segments on a football field in which are painted that if you enter it with the ball, you can be awarded 2 and 6 points based on the circumstance.
Okay. All right.
So
Did not know that.
yeah, so like if a player with the ball gets into those 2 painted areas at the end of each field, you get points. And then you accumulate those over the 4 quarters that are 15 minutes each. And then when the clock hits 0 in the last one of those, the team with more points wins the game. And I think the team with the gold helmets will be the team that wins this one. Was that a clear enough? Was that a clear enough explanation, my brother?
I mean, yeah, it was. Not really though. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it
Not
was.
satisfied with that one?
Yeah, I mean, look, I
Okay.
I understand the premise. I get it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So you need me to be a little more detailed.
I would like it. Yeah. I
Okay,
would
no
like it.
problem. No problem. No problem. In this particular matchup of American football being played in Atlanta, Georgia at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, is that what it is? Is that what it is? It's the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, right?
Mercedes-Benz Stadium, yes. The
Mercedes-Benz
Maybach, as
Stadium.
I call it.
Right.
Yes.
So it's a matchup of the Buckeyes of Ohio State and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. And what I'm seeing here is that both quarterbacks on each side are fucking burgers. They're both average as fuck. So the first play I like is both of them to throw an interception. Riley Leonard to throw a pick, Will Howard to throw a pick. Why? Because it's going to happen. Okay? I have no problem being honest. But on the other side, I'm going to do Jonesy a solid, and we're going to take both quarterbacks anytime touchdown as well.
Okay.
In this game, Riley Leonard is going to have to be a runner. And it's a situation where he knows he has to do that. Okay? The key here is to maintain drives. Like Jake said, I don't know about 38 minutes, but maintain drives, convert first downs. You got a kicker that's running hot. That's another thing that people need to pay attention to, the kickers. Jeter hasn't missed in these playoff games. He's been lights out. He's changed momentum for us. He's made every big kick. He's been lights out. The 2 kickers play a huge role. I'm taking Notre Dame plus 5.5 first half. I think it's safe. Why? I think it was Sam that mentioned it. You bracket Jeremiah Smith. You give him crazy looks, and what you do is you try to make it hell for Will Howard as far as having a process. Right. Keep it in front of you. Do what Texas did. Keep it in front of you. Don't give up the big chunk plays. The problem with Ohio State is that they're allotted the luxury of having a great run game to go with the outside players. So there's situations where you could sell out for the run against Travion or Judkins and end up getting fucked because they have these playmakers in the back end. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah Smith, I will take his longest reception if you can get it on the books. I would not take. I wouldn't attack his total yards because I think, again, keep it in front of you. Don't let him be the guy to beat you. I think that's the game plan, right? But his longest reception, if Will Howard does identify man, I could see a situation where JJ gets about 3-4 targets, where he's just a bigger, stronger player and comes down with the ball, which would make perfect sense because he's a special athlete. I'm taking the over in this game. Over 46.5. I know everybody's expecting it to be some low-scoring, ugly game. The game's being played on turf. I think both teams have enough explosive athletes to get down the field and put themselves in position to score points. I think the idea of this being some ugly football game is just that. It's just an idea.
Okay.
And what else do I like? I also am going. I put a small ticket in on Notre Dame's defense to score a touchdown.
Right.
We've been great. We've been great making teams turn the ball over. I don't see it stopping this week. I think our defense forces a couple turnovers, could definitely turn one into a touchdown. And I like Notre Dame to win the game. Again, it's not the fans speaking to me. I spoke to you guys earlier. This gives me this game gives me big time Miami Hurricanes versus Ohio State vibes. Jim Tressel, Maurice Claret, Ken Dorsey, Andre Johnson. They were installed as 11.5-point favorites. And like he said, like Sam said, we there's no expectation here of Notre Dame winning the game, right? It's can they keep it close? I mean, I think I've heard you both say that. Can they keep it competitive? And I think that won't be a problem keeping it competitive. It's a matter of being strong enough to get through the adversity that you're going to face based on the playmakers that they have on the other side. I appreciate you guys giving me a long opportunity to speak because, again, my team's playing a national championship. It's not about like just cheering for them. I think we're the best team in the country. We're not the most talented team in the country. I think we're the best team. I think we have the best coach in America. And I think we have the best coach in this game. And I think that's what I believe in. I believe that what we have put on tape is clear as day. We're a damn good football team. We're a really fucking smart football team. We don't get in our own way. And when the money's on the floor, 9 times out of 10, we're the ones picking it up, and we're not strippers.
Okay.
So, and we don't be out there shaking ass. We pick up the money off the floor, but we roll 7s and 11s. You heard me.
Fair enough.
So,
pick it up with your foot. That's what I heard.
Well, shit off the boot one time, off the boot,
Yeah, scrape it away with your foot, man.
But I do love the Xavier Watts look. And again, I look forward to an exciting game. I'm not here to tell you that we're going to beat the shit out of them, but I think Will Howard fits the profile of all the quarterbacks that we've seen thus far. And he strikes zero fear in my heart. He's about as gangster as a tie-dye vest. Shout out to J. Cole. So I'm not scared of him. I'm not worried about him. Just got to hope that, J.J. Smith don't decide to turn into Megatron. Hope he stays. Megatron turns into what? The 18-wheeler, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Megatron is like the Lambo or something.
What does Megatron transform into?
Tank.
Okay, yeah. Because what's it called?
Optimus
Prime is the 18-wheeler. You're right. So
yeah, well, I thought you were talking about Calvin Johnson, but that's just me.
Damn.
I could see where you could, mix that up.
All right, man. So when I'm looking at this matchup, I agree with Jake. I think Notre Dame's game plan going into it is going to be run the ball, keep possession, try to extend drives. I think they don't want any drive to be under 7 plays, and they definitely want to run the ball well. So my only fear is Jeremiah Love and his health. I know he's been a warrior over the last 2 weeks dealing with that injury, and over the course of the season, he's been banged up. So he's been a dog, but I do like Anais Williams.
Maybe the best 3-yard run that we've ever seen in that semifinal game.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, look, it takes a lot of heart to be dealing with a knee injury as a running back and all the shit that they go through. So salute to him. But I think Anais Williams is going to get some burn. Now, it's kind of juiced, so I'm not going to give it out as an official, but I do like Anais Williams over his rushing yards. Let me see what that is. I'll find it and I'll come back to it. Anyway, I do like his rushing yards. I think it's at like 20 or 30. I think he gets over that. And then I'm with Sosa on Will Howard and what he needs to do as a runner. If you're giving me his rushing yards at 9.5, I'm taking it. I think that's great value. It's a very low number in my opinion. He could get into the 18 to 19 to 20 range. I don't think he's going to get sacked a lot. I think the protection is going to hold up, so I don't think we're going to worry about the whole college quarterbacks lose yards for getting sacked. I'm liking G Scott again. We're going with the people that got us here. Okay, we cashed a plus 130 on him in the semifinal. We're going with his yards again at 17.5 minus 115. So I do love that. And then for every reason y'all said about Emeka and Jeremiah, I'm targeting Carnell Tate. I think he had 90 yards in the semifinal. So to get his number at 40.5, I like that. I think he's going to be a really good receiver for them next year as well. So I think that just leads into, what they're wanting to do to continue this run. If I'm picking a side, I do think Ohio State wins, but I do think Notre Dame is able to cover somehow. I don't know how. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think they have a good enough defense to where we're not going to see what happened to Oregon happen. And I think they're not going to make the mistakes that Texas made in terms of that toss play, that everybody's talking about. So I don't have an official play on the spread. It being at 8 kind of scares me a little bit. I don't have a play on the over or under. I'm going solely props. We've had a great college football playoff, and I'm thankful for that. So, yeah, that's what I got for this game. Anything else on this one, boys?
Appreciate you guys for a great season, man. It's been a great year. Excited for the off season,
Yeah. 100%.
Excited for the parade in South Bend. So,
oh god,
Oh god, that sounds disgusting.
Yeah,
very
that's a nasty
excited.
parade,
I
man.
mean, hey Sam, will you go and take pictures for me?
No, I don't get paid enough for that.
I'll pay you to do that. You do that,
You
I'll
getting
pay.
paid?
I'll pay you.
You getting paid for this?
You paid for this?
Oh my god!
You're
All
getting
right,
paid for this?
like what the fuck? Well, yes, as Sosa said, we want to appreciate everybody that joined up this year from August 31st all the way to January the 18th. We've given y'all nothing but bangers. We've won a lot of money. We're going to announce the winner of our bracket challenge probably on Tuesday. I'll be in the middle of the ocean during this game, so I'll be watching live from a cruise ship. I deserve a break, right? It's been a long 5 months, so I'm going to take a break. But we do appreciate y'all. Again, follow us at Pay for Play. Subscribe, Daily Bread Network. Follow all the guys on here. We'll probably be back for the NFL draft. We always do a NFL draft special every year, so we'll have some insight on some of these guys. I know a lot of NFL people like to do their draft previews. No disrespect to y'all, all right? We feel you, but some of us, like all 4 of us on this channel, have been watching
NFL people were telling us Drew Aller was a good quarterback last week. So
exactly, and they don't. We clearly see they don't watch the games.
Non-ball knowers.
Clearly see they don't watch the game. So if you're willing to join up, we'll be back. The draft's in April, so we'll be back in March, maybe beginning of April, whatever. We'll tell y'all. Yes, Ali, I'm excited. Royal Caribbean only, baby. Royal Caribbean only. All right. But for Sam, for Sosa, for Jake, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. We'll be back. We're on a 3-month break. We'll see y'all then. Peace.
Go Irish.